All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And the video I'm bringing you today, we are going to do a gear set review of the Elemental Catalyst set. Now, this set is a new set to the Stonethorn patch that is dropping probably in a couple weeks now. I am on the PTS. I wanted to show you what it is, what it does, and I wanted to talk about whether or not it's PvP viable. Now, with that being said, let's dive into it. This set is already going to be popular for PvE trials. You know, people are already talking this is one of the better debuff sets you can run in dungeons and whatnot because of what it gives. I wanted to talk about its viability in open world PvP. So, 2-piece max magicka, 3-piece spell crit, 4-piece max magicka, 5-piece. Whenever you deal flame, shock, or frost damage, you apply a stack of flame, shock, or frost weakness to the enemy for 5 seconds. Each stack of an elemental weakness increases their critical damage taken by 5%. An enemy can only have 1 stack of each elemental weakness at a time. So, 3 different weaknesses, or 3 different elements, 3 different stacks of weaknesses. This is up to 15% more critical damage when you hit, if you can get all 3 stacks on a person. So I think this is a pretty interesting set for a few reasons. Number one, it's a debuff. So if you're running in a small group, it's not just buffing your damage, it's buffing the critical damage of everybody in your group. So that person is going to take 15% more critical damage from everybody that is attacking them with these debuffs on them. So that is a very interesting combination in small group play, in my opinion. Number 2, they nerfed the amount of critical damage that you, or impen that you can wear in this patch as well. It's not a huge amount, but it's like 300 or 400 crit or impen, which is a pretty noticeable difference. Number 3, Nightblades, they changed how Merciless Resolve works. So instead of giving up to 10% damage mitigation, it now gives more critical damage and critical healing. So when you're looking at this set, it's now going to be more viable on a few specs to stack more critical damage than it was this last patch. You know, everybody's talked about how malacath is so strong, and they've started to incorporate these different things, making crit even more viable. So in my opinion, I don't think this is a great solo set. You know, I wouldn't wear this set solo, but if you're running like in a duo or a trio, or you have a few Nightblades with you that are already going to do a ton of critical damage and they're not going to wear malacath, this could be a very powerful buff set for your entire group. Yes, you're sacrificing some damage yourself, but you're buffing your group. So let's look at the stacks. Let's look and see what it does. So I have the Frost Staff on right now. And 3 jewelry pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to put on it says when you stack damage. So when I hit light attack with a Frost Staff, you see they get a circle around their body with the little frost element, which is pretty interesting. So you can tell that it's the frost element. If we switch to the Inferno Staff, once we go off combat here, and we light attack here, you see we get the cool little flame enchant. And once we get out of combat, I'll put the lightning staff as well. I just want to show all the individual debuffs so you can kind of have an idea what they look like. Now, with the lightning staff, I couldn't get this to proc, and I don't know why. Maybe that... See, like, I don't know what it is, but I couldn't get the lightning debuff to work. But anyways, I would really only run... There's a few classes that could make this work. You could run Magic and Necromancer. Magic and Necromancer already has access to, like, Frost, Fire, and Lightning through their different skills and abilities, so you could proc this. The easiest way to go about doing it would be just use Force Pulse. So once you use Force Pulse, you have all 3 abilities, you see all the debuffs on them. Yeah, so every time you cast this, you're going to have this. And so the cooldown is what again? Enemy for 5 seconds. So each time you spam this, you can have multiple elemental catalysts on people. So it's pretty easy. You know, it's a pretty nice option because, you know, if your teammates see this on somebody, they know that that's who you're focusing, and then, you know, you're going to be able to, you know, it's like purifying light or power light. You know, you see that beam on somebody, you know that that's the person that somebody's focusing, and you're going to try and focus them. This is the same thing. You get this animation, you're like, oh crap, that person's taking a ton of damage. It's a debuff. Let's go after him. So I don't know how popular this set is going to be in open world PvP. Obviously in no CP, everybody's running proc sets. You know, they're running malacath. This will not be a set you will see in no CP that often. You know, it's just That's not the way the current meta for no CP is. In CP, it could be different. You know, on a few different specs, this could be a pretty viable option. You know, if you're running in a 2, 3, 4, 5-man group of all DDs, and you're stacking as much burst damage as possible to amplify your healing, and you're not running proc sets and you're not running malacath, this is a pretty nice debuff for your group. You know, you drop a few people with a crit burst, and you know, all of a sudden you're fighting a lot less people. So I think this is an interesting set. I think it's really easy to proc. Obviously, you proc it off of Force Pulse. You can obviously proc it off other things, like if I hit Vampire's Bane, you see that they have the fire debuff. But yeah, it's pretty easy to see how many you have on you. You see the frost and fire going. I don't know why there's not a lightning one though. Like that's the one that doesn't make any sense to me, unless there's not supposed to be. Yeah, shock damage. There's no cool circle for shock damage, and I don't know why. but it is what it is. That's the set. I think it's interesting. It's obviously going to be, like I said, in PvE, this is going to be one of the better debuff sets in the game. I've already heard talk of, you know, this is going to be a trial set for sure. Like, this is definitely a trial set. PvP, maybe. It really depends on your group comp. So I would look at, you know, who you play with and what you guys are running, and see, you know, if somebody running this is viable for you. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, please provide it in the section below. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.